filter change on a 1.8 petrol Honda Civic Tourer 64 plate using 5W30 oil. So first off, you're going to want to start your car up and get it warm, keep it running for about 5 minutes or so. Just helps the oil get viscous and it'll drain easy. No need for putting engine oil additives in, which can obviously damage the engine. So I'll get the car jacked up and then we'll point out where the oil drain pan is and the filter. So for anyone wondering where I've jacked it up, I've just put the jack on the subframe, the big bolt there, holding the subframe together, just so you can get your jack nicely out of the way. Give you plenty of room, just put that on the jacking point. So obviously if you jack it up on that, you're going to have to put your jack stand on the subframe, which makes the room a bit tighter. Not ideal. Get it jacked up, locate the oil filter and the sump nut. So as you can see, car's all jacked up with safety measures in place. Always make sure you got something solid, don't just rely on your jack. Got the jack there, and I've got timber blocks as well, solid timber. And then just for extra measure, the jack is in there as well, just on that original subframe. Bolt was jacked up on, but not under pressure again. Just there as a sort of safety. Chop the back wheels front and back as well, stop any rolling. Around here. So just need to take these posi or Phillips screws out from the pan cover down here. So as you can see, I've removed that under tray cover, which is held in by 6 of these little screws. I used a flathead, it was easy enough, but you might as well just use a posi or a Phillips to make it easier. When you've exposed that, you'll see your oil sump there identified, saying engine oil on it, which you can then see the sump nut and washer here. And then just to the side of that, towards the front, you've got your oil filter. It's all easy access. Next step, the car's been pre-warmed up, so the oil's nice and viscous. Gonna just go and rob a tub to put under this when we empty it. Just make sure that when you do warm your car up, you're not doing it too warm. You know, with hot oil and burn your hands. It's just a couple of minutes will do. So we'll go and get that tub, get this off, which I think is 14mm, but I will put all step-by steps in the description. Is there something more? Say 17mm. So just cracked it, loosened it off. That's going to come out, flying out. Just watch. Should probably have a set of goggles on, but I'm an idiot and I didn't grab them. So I'll just use the bucket to shield my eyes, as I say, like an idiot. I'm just going to prevent all the oil going in my eyes while it's all just gone over my hands. Just going to take my glove off inside out with the sump nut inside, so I don't lose it. Well, I am putting a new one on, so I'm just going to keep that as a spare. And I'm just going to change my gloves while that drains. Right, so just going to replace the sump nut and washer I've not managed to put the new one on since they've given me the wrong one, so I'm just going to replace the original sump nut and washer. It's not a crush washer, so fingers crossed it'll be alright. If not, just change it again. So when you just put that on hand tight, you just want to torque it up to 40 Newton meters. Just don't do it too tight because you can easily warp your sump. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then move on to moving the oil filter, which I might struggle with because I believe I've got the wrong tool. I've got one of the rubber straps, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it in there, but we'll give it a go. So I've got the oil filter off, which was an absolute pig to get off because I didn't have the right tool. I never realised that the rubber grip clamp on wasn't the appropriate one for it, since you can't actually get any sort of leverage on it on the side because of all this stuff in the way, all your exhaust pipe and the actual oil pan itself. So I basically just punctured 2 holes in the bottom of the oil filter, stuck a pair of grips in, and then got an adjustable spanner. Just took it off that way, which I'll put a picture up now. Yes, we've got the new oil filter here, blueprint one. The ideal enough, just serves every 6 months. Does the job. Fill this up with your new oil and then just get a bit of it, just rub it around there just to lubricate the washer gasket before it goes on. So we're going to do that now and then we'll carry on from there. The oil we're using is PETROL Synthium 3000 FR 5W30, the good brand, so should do the car well. So I've just filled that up with the oil. You'll see that it sort of fills up and then all of a sudden it just disappears as it soaks into the filter liner. I'll just again top it up, put it on the floor, get rid of that. So now I'm going to get back under the car and put this filter on. Just careful not to spill any more oil than I already have. Right, so there we go, oil filter's back on. Make sure when you're putting the oil filter on, just do it hand tight. You don't want it going on too tight because you'll end up knackering the thread. Then once you've done that, we just need to replace the dust cover that goes here. There was 7 screws in it, not 6. So we'll get that replaced. Well, first I'll just make sure I've wiped up any excess oil. You can alternatively leave your dust cover off for a bit if you're unsure whether you've got any leaks. Leave your dust cover off, put a piece of cardboard underneath, and that'll be able to say whether you've got any leaks after you've given the car a bit of a run, which I'll probably do later. Right, so I decided I'm going to leave the dust cover off for now, just so I can make sure that there's no oil leaking. So we're going to get the car back level, take the jack stands and our timber and start topping up the oil. So if you go ahead and locate your oil cap, which on the petrol is here, ideally using a funnel, and then it's approximately, if I'm correct, 3.7 litres. So I've just put a rough mark on the bottle of engine oil. We're pouring roughly that amount, give it a few minutes to settle, and then check the dipstick. So here's your air filter, 2 clasps to that, 1 clasp to that. Just lift it up. You can pull your air filter out, and if you like anything like mine, absolutely minging, full of flies and wasps, all sorts of rubbish. So put the new one in, and then you should see a fair bit of improvement. So you can see the difference there in the new one. So I'm just going to take this out of the packet. Just going to open it up, slide it in correctly, make sure it's all sealed round, and that's done. That's it. Service is done. Oil's been changed, oil filter's changed, and the air filter and it's running nice and smooth. It even sounds a bit better. Now I've changed that manky old air filter. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Any questions, fire away in the comment section. Cheers. Okay, so basically ended up punching 2 holes through the top of the oil filter, or the bottom of the oil filter if you like, put in these pair of grips and put the adjustable just on there like that, and a bit of force, it came off. I did originally try welded a small bracket together with the idea that I did end up cutting these back. They were slightly longer, sort of, so yeah, sat that on the oil filter sort of on there like that, and then the idea was you tighten up the bolt to clamp the oil filter and then just turn that, but the metal I've used is a bit too soft and it was no good. Well, I imagine with a bit of thought to it, a bit of time, I probably could have made something decent, but you know, it's off now, and I'll buy the correct tool for it next time. So I'm just going to put the oil filter back on.